After being reborn, the first thing I did was drag my girlfriend to get covered in forbidden tattoos. She got Jingwei. I got Pangu. She got the Nine Heavens goddess across her whole back. I got the Eastern Emperor Tai on my chest. I even blew through my entire 20 million in savings to buy an abandoned prison. Everyone who heard about it laughed and called my girlfriend a lovesick fool for sticking with me. See, what nobody knows is that soon, a blood moon will rise across the globe. Heaven and earth will shift and every living thing will mutate. Tiny little ants will become 100-meter-tall monsters in the blink of an eye. Even a weed could grow into a skyscraper-sized tree. When that happens, countless humans will become their food. But people with tattoos will be shocked to find that their ink awakens too. Someone who tattooed the 10 kings of hell becomes lord of all ghosts. Someone who tattooed a Keelan transforms into a divine beast, guarding an entire region. But in my past life, I had no tattoos. I ended up at the very bottom, treated like livestock. Now I've been reborn, 2 months before the apocalypse. So I went all out and hired hundreds of the world's top tattoo artists. Standing by the window, gazing at the clear blue sky, I couldn't help but think, enjoy it while it lasts. Once June 1st hits, the entire planet will be choked in a thick, heavy smog. 2 months until everything changes. Should be just enough time to build a large-scale shelter. Once the shift hits, every living creature becomes insanely powerful. Humans will have almost nowhere to hide. In the early stages, building a shelter is the best move. I picked up my phone and made a call. Hey, Chairman, what are your orders? A middle-aged man's voice came through the other end. Find out if there are any abandoned large-scale prisons for sale in Longjiang City. After my parents passed, they left me Hengyu Group, a conglomerate spanning multiple industries, real estate being one of them. The man on the line was Manager Jiang, head of the real estate division. Chairman, I know of two. One's out in the Gobi area on the western outskirts, over 500,000 square meters, bigger than Tiananmen Square, built last century. Asking price is 700 million. Skip the other one. I cut him off. That desolate western outskirts location was absolutely perfect. Chairman, are you planning to renovate the prison? Get me in touch with whoever owns it immediately. Acquire it as fast as humanly possible. Then start construction. Walls at least several hundred meters high, at least 2 meters thick, reinforced concrete. Same for the ground. And I want steel plating on both the base layer and the surface. The goal is a large-scale shelter. Stock enough supplies to feed a few thousand people for 3 years, more if possible. You know what to do. Jiang To on the other end was stunned. Chairman, I did some rough math. Between your specs and the 700 million for the purchase, you're looking at another 30 to 40 billion on top. I'm giving you 10 billion, get it done in 50 days. If that's not enough, call me. Remember, build it like an apocalypse fortress. Money's not an issue. Between my parents' company and my own assets, money's just numbers to me. Besides, after the shift, the UN will roll out a unified currency to stabilize things. At that point, only stuff like gold will actually be worth anything. I'm already planning to sell off Hengyu Group and dump whatever's left into buying gold at low prices. That's all I needed to hear, Chairman. As long as you're willing to throw money at it, I'll personally oversee the project. You'll have an unbreakable fortress in 50 days. I'll have finance set up a 10 billion spending authorization for you. Good, the sooner it's done, the better. I hung up. Shelter handled. Now I just had to wait for the world's top tattoo masters to show up. I sat down on the leather couch and started searching online for the most powerful tattoos. Eventually, I settled on 10 of the strongest dark side tattoos out there. Having these inked on my body. When the shift hits and they awaken, I can't even imagine how powerful they'll be. In my past life, people with tattoos like Azure Dragon or Keelan stood at the absolute top of the food chain. But there were beasts out there that could go toe-to-toe with them. On Mount Kunlun, there was a golden thread snake, turned into a flood dragon in 1 year, a full dragon in 2, and by year 3, it evolved into a golden dragon. On Mount Emi, a monkey king emerged, unstoppably powerful. Every monkey on the planet answered to it. After the shift, wild animals rule the world, massive beast kings rampaging everywhere. Early on, humanity held them off with nukes and heavy firepower. Later, it was the tattooed ones who stepped up. That evening, a black luxury sedan pulled up in the parking area outside my villa. The passenger door opened first. Out stepped a tall woman in a business suit with long wine-red hair. Absolute stunner. Then another gorgeous woman stepped out of the back seat. Ms. Karim, this way please. Shinjixia stepped forward and gestured for the other woman to follow. Karim sized up the surroundings, then walked toward the villa. By then, my AI had already pinged me that Shinjixia and the others had arrived. A moment later, I came out to the living room in a black robe. Chairman, this is Ms. Karim, a world-renowned tattoo artist. Hello, Mr. Ye Xuanchen. Karim stood up with a smile and extended her hand. I shook it, then sat down on the couch across from her. Karim looked at me and got straight to it. What kind of tattoo does Mr. Ye Xuanchen have in mind? I looked up with a slight smile. I need 10. Rakshasa, King of Hell, Evil God, Black Dragon, Grim Reaper, Asura, Chiyu, the Monkey King, and Neja. Mr. Ye, are you superstitious by any chance? Even someone as worldly as Karim was visibly taken aback by the list. I've actually done quite a bit of research on these specific tattoos. I took a sip of tea. Just focus and give me your absolute best work. Whether I can handle them, that's my problem. Well, if Mr. Ye insists, I won't say anything more. You've had a long trip. Rest tonight and we'll start tomorrow afternoon. Sound good? Karim nodded in agreement. The next afternoon, Shenjixia waited quietly outside my room. The door didn't open until sunset. Karim stepped out. How did it go? Shenjixia asked. Karim gave her a nod. Miss Shen, your chairman's tattoos came out flawlessly. It was the most focused session of my entire career. Mr. Ye also wants me to do one on you. Shen Jixia froze at the news. You're getting one, no discussion. My stern voice came from inside the room. Hearing that tone, Shen Jixia reluctantly agreed. Put it on my arm, a female Rakshasa. Before she could finish, I cut her off. Shen Jixia stood there stunned, but eventually just nodded. A little later, I walked out shirtless. My body was covered in tattoos. The more powerful the tattoo, the more agonizing the awakening process. With these on me, there's a real chance I could literally explode from the strain. In my past life, I wasn't a tattooed awakener, so I only heard the awakening was somewhat painful. But at this point, I'm going all in. Go big or go home. Around 9 p.m., I saw Karim and the others off. Back in the room, Shen Jixia was staring at me, completely baffled. Soon enough, you'll be thanking me for this. I glanced at her and walked away. The only reason I had her get a tattoo was because she'd been with me 6-7 years. Reliable enough. When you get back, tell finance to set up a 10 billion spending authorization for Zhang Tuo. Hearing that, Shen Jixia was about to ask questions, but I've never been one for explanations. I kept walking. Time flew. Before I knew it, it was May 1st, Labor Day. The prison project had kicked off in full force about 20-some days ago, and it had been all over the news. Streamers were even broadcasting live from the site. Thousands of workers running round-the-clock shifts, just 28 days in, and they'd already finished over 2/3 of it. At this pace, barring any hiccups, it'd be done in about 2 more weeks. Regular people just figured some rich guy had more money than sense. Nobody was thinking impending apocalypse. I couldn't care less what anyone thought. I'd spent the past month working out non-stop. In my past life, I'd heard that if your body's too weak during the tattoo awakening, you could straight up die from it. I had to get myself in peak condition within these 2 months. Just then, a text notification popped up. I checked my phone. A deposit of over 90 billion had just hit my account. At the same time, Shen Jixia called. The second I picked up, I heard her voice. Chairman, did the money come through? I grunted in acknowledgement. Good work, I said, satisfied. Come back soon, Chairman. Shen Jixia hesitated, then finally spoke up. In my opinion, what you're doing right now is reckless. Also, the people who acquired Hengyu Group offered me a high-paying position to stay on. I'm the type of woman who has standards. Why would I stay with a man who sold off his parents' legacy and blew tens of billions on some useless construction project? Fine. I'll wire last month's salary to your account, I said flatly and hung up without expression. Shen Jixia leaving didn't faze me one bit. People make their own choices. Walk away now, and don't even think about coming back. Boss! A burly man in a black suit walked into the villa. I picked up my teacup. Looked up and asked how things went. Boss, when have I ever let you down? Lu Biao said with a grin. All 100+ of our boys got their demon tattoos, and every single one of them is an orphan, no attachments. Loyal to you, boss, 100%. Then he lowered his voice. Boss, is the apocalypse really coming? Yeah, I didn't hide it from him. He's a ride or die brother. Took a knife from me once. No wonder you've been making such big moves. So what do the tattoos have to do with the apocalypse? You'll find out when it happens. I told Lu Biao. To be safe, take some guys and oversee the Western Outskirts project. Get it done in 10 days if possible. Then we'll need a few more days to move supplies in. Lu Biao gave a firm nod. On it, boss, heading out now. After he left, I made a mysterious phone call. Well, well, young master. My, you've certainly been making waves. An old man's voice came through the moment the call connected. Elder Qin Zhengheng, you flatter me, I said politely. I'll cut to the chase. I want to buy 160 billion worth of gold. Elder Qin, can you make that happen? What do you need that much gold for? Elder Qin, let's not go there. I wired $1 billion straight to his account right then and there. Nobody knows better than me. Once the disaster hits and the unified currency drops, all this cash is going to tank hard. I'll help. He must have seen the deposit notification. A second ago, he was asking questions. Now he agreed without hesitation. Much appreciated, Elder Qin. Can you have it ready within a week? Done. Gold for cash, straight swap. We made some small talk after that. Time flew, and before I knew it, May 28th arrived. That day, the massive shelter in the western Gobi outskirts of Longjiang City, nearly 10 billion invested over 500,000 square meters, stood there like a small city. The visual impact was insane. Walls over 600 meters high, roughly 20 meters thick. Wind turbines stood at regular intervals, with electrified netting covering the airspace above. To fend off aerial predators, countless solar panels lined the walls. Not just the walls, the ground inside was reinforced concrete too, with heavy steel plating on both the base layer and the surface. After the shift, everything evolves except tattooed humans. Rats, ants, all of them become massive threats. Inside the walls, buildings stood in rows as far as the eye could see, enough to house tens of thousands. Oh my god, what an absolute beast of a structure. Longjiang City's richest man built this shelter. What's he planning? I heard he sold off Hengyu Group entirely. Don't tell me the apocalypse from the movies is actually coming? Crowds of streamers and people who traveled from miles away to gawk surrounded the perimeter. Everyone staring at this behemoth, completely blown away.